Hey everyone, it's technology expert Burton Kelso with Integral here, sharing another tech tip that will help you get the most out of the technology in your life. Today we're going to talk about cluttered desktops. Yes, that's right. Both you Windows and Macintosh users, and even myself at times, are guilty of having a cluttered desktop. Now, I'm not sharing this tech tip just to say that you need to keep your computer, laptop, or tablet desktop screen clean. It's a matter of performance and knowing that having too much stuff on the desktop can slow your computer or laptop down. We're going to switch screens like we always do. Take a look at my cluttered desktop, show you why that's a problem, and show you tips in order to clean up that desktop and to make your computer run a lot smoother. There is my desk file that your Windows or Macintosh operating system is going to read when it starts up. The larger or the more items that you have on your desktop and the larger those items are, the longer it's going to take for that laptop or desktop, Windows or Macintosh computer to start. Now, to kind of give you a little gauge as far as how large this file is, let's go to Windows File Manager. And on you Macintosh users, um, you would go to Finder. Once there, you want to locate the desktop folder, which is here. And in File Manager, the desktop just looks like a standard folder. But as I said before, it's the folder that starts with Windows. And on your Macintosh, it's the folder Macintosh that starts up too. It has to load the desktop before it can load anything else. Now what we want to do on desktop is we want to go to properties. Once we go to properties on desktop on this computer, as you can see, the actual size, and I almost said the actual retail price for you Price was Right fans out there, but the actual size of the desktop file is 13.8 gigabytes in size. And that's a pretty hefty size as far as a desktop folder is concerned. As you can see, your computer is going to have to load 13 gigabytes worth of files before your computer can even get to the place where you can operate. That ain't good. So going back to our desktop here at 13 gigabytes, it may not look like all of these files are taking up that much room, but they are, and it's slowing the computer down. So what can you do in order to clear out that clutter and also use your desktop to have items and make you a little bit more productive? Well, it's pretty simple. Well, the first thing we want to do is obviously remove all that stuff from the desktop. Now, one of the quicker ways to do that and on this computer would be to let's go to a folder in documents because we don't want to create another folder on our desktop. I went to downloads. Imagine that. Let's go to documents. So what we want to do is we want to go to right click on this empty area, and you can do this on your Macintosh too. Go to documents, right click, create new, and then do folder. What we have is a new folder, and we're going to call that folder junk. Once we have our junk folder, let's just simply double click on it to open it and start dragging some of these items from the desktop to the junk folder. So once we do that, it's going to move junk. Going to take some of that clutter off our desktop. Let's move some more items. And the reason I'm putting it on documents because it doesn't make any sense to create a new folder on the desktop because you're just transferring from one location to the next. Now, if we go back to our desktop folder and right click and look at properties, as you can see, our file size has gone down significantly. Now, I would say that probably under 1 gigabyte of data on your desktop is good enough to make your computer run a little bit faster. Uh, 1.2 is going to be a good size because most computers can handle that. But with the case of any computer, less is better. So you want to trim that desktop down so that you have less items there that are slowing down your computer. Next step is if you want to keep items or get access to items that you want to store on your desktop but aren't going to take up as much room, you want to create what's called either shortcuts on the Windows side or aliases on the Macintosh side. If you right click an icon, you can do this on your Mac, um, on the Macintosh you'll get a menu that says create alias. On the Windows side, it's considered a shortcut. So let's on this file here, we want to go to send to desktop. Once we send it to desktop, lo and behold, there is a file called a shortcut. Now, a shortcut or an alias is basically a file that points you back to the original location of that file. So a shortcut isn't the actual file. It just gives you a shortcut to that file that's stored, um, in this case on the desktop, but realistically should be stored under documents. Now you can create shortcuts to both files and folders. So let's say you wanted a shortcut to the junk folder. Again, you right click. First you click on it, then you right click, and then you go send to desktop. And as you can see here, it'll say create shortcut. Again, for you Macintosh users, you'll get the option to create an alias, and that way you can get access to all of those files. You can keep some of that clutter, but your shortcuts are going to take up less space on your computer than the actual file sitting on your desktop. So again, let's go back to our desktop. You can create a shortcut by simply going right click, go to send to, and then just go to desktop and you've got a shortcut. Same thing for documents if we can find some. There's 10 stupid PC mistakes. Not that I make any, but anyway, send to desktop and it'll create a shortcut. And there you have it. You can keep those cluttered files on your computer, but using shortcuts and cleaning up your desktop, you can ensure that your computer is going to run a lot smoother. The other things that you always want to keep in consideration is making sure that you've got the amount of RAM on your computer as far as starting up. RAM, you should have at least 8 gigabytes of RAM minimum on both Windows and Macintosh computers. So combination of RAM, but before you go upgrade or buy a new computer, make sure that your desktop isn't cluttered up and not taking a lot of room. As always, if you've got comments or questions, leave them in the comment section below. Would love to hear from you to find out what tech tips you would like me to cover in future videos. Speaking of videos, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel at both Integral or myself, Burton Kelso. Tons of videos there that are designed to help you get the most from your technology, as well as our social media channels. Tips there that are going to help you get more from the technology and keep you up to date with the latest cybersecurity alerts. So take care of yourself and do many things to make you smile. And thanks for watching. And I'm just going to stand there and grin. Thanks for watching, folks.